Hi everyone, welcome back to another one of our NFL season previews. This time we're looking at the Tennessee Titans. They were 6-10 last year, and Mike Munchak enters his third season as the team's head coach. A lot of the Titans' success is going to hinge on third-year quarterback Jake Locker's success and improvement from the season before. Locker was the 10th overall pick out of Washington, and he took a step back as a starter last year. His incompletions and percentage fell, and he's gonna have to improve that if he wants to improve. The Titans have done a good job of getting him weapons. You look at the wide receiver position, and they've got former first-round pick Kenny Britt. They drafted Justin Hunter, I believe 34th, 35th overall a year ago in this past April's draft, and I really like the pick of Justin Hunter. I think he's maybe a cheap version of AJ Green. That's not a slight against Hunter. It's just that they have a similar body type and a similar speed. It's just Hunter doesn't have the ability to make as many amazing catches as Green. And then you look at the other two players that are going to be competing for the majority of their reps. That's going to be Nate Washington. Yes, he's getting up there in years, but he can still be a solid, reliable possession receiver. And then you have two guys drafted a few years ago. I guess 2 years ago now. Kendall Wright, first round pick out of Baylor. Had great successes last year in Waco with RG3, but really wasn't the deep threat he was in college last season. He didn't even average 10 yards a catch, which needs to improve if they want to max out Wright's potential. And then they have Damon Williams, a third round pick out of USC. He's talented, and he's a nice third receiver, but he doesn't offer them a whole lot in terms of a game breaker. For tight ends, they lost Jared Cook Jr. to the St. Louis Rams and their former head coach Jeff Fisher. And they signed Delonte Walker, the 49ers tight end. I don't think he's really a starter. I think he was in the perfect role in San Francisco, backing up a very good tight end. I don't think he's the guy you really want starting. We're going to move to the running back position now, where it's all about CJ2K, Chris Johnson, the speedster out of Orlando. The real question is, which Chris Johnson are you going to get? Is it the one that got 4 yards a carry last year, or the one that got 5.6? The Titans, again, are hoping to get something in between that and hope that he returns to, if he's not likelihood of him getting back to 2,000 is very low, but if he can get 1,500 yards, the Titans are very happy. They signed former Jet Sean Green to a 3-year, $10 million contract, and Green should offer the Titans a very good backup. This is a guy who went for 1,000 yards twice and can be a good short yardage and goal line back, something that Johnson doesn't really have the size for. You move to the offensive line, where the Titans made a big splash in free agency, signing Andy Levitre. He was one of the best guards in all of football for the Buffalo Bills, and he also offered the Bills, in his 4 years there, the versatility. He could play any position on that offensive line. He's slated to play left guard for the Titans, and then they went out and drafted Chance Warmack out of Alabama, 10th overall. So that's a big plus for Chris Johnson. He could really rebound from where he's been the past few years. And of course you have Roos and Stewart, who are a great set of tackles, have been there for a long time, that will give Locker a good protection and great lanes for Johnson. The weak point is center Rob Turner, so it'll be interesting to see how teams attack the Titans using the pass rush. We're going to go now to the defense, where it's a young defense, but it should be a very good defense too. The weakness and question mark comes at defensive tackle. The Titans are betting that Sammy Lee Hill is a starting caliber tackle, and then you have to ask yourselves, how good is Jurrell Casey? Has he peaked, or is he going to continue to get better? I'm not sure that either of these guys is a starter. I think they're both more of your third guy in a rotation. But what I do like about the D-line is Cameron Windley and Derek Morgan. I think that these guys can combine for 16 sacks. I mean, I know that I expect Morgan to have a big breakout season. He was one of the top pass rushers drafted a few years ago. and I think it's his time to break out now that he's healthy, coming off the injury that cost him all of 2 years ago. And Cameron Wembley has been very consistent his entire NFL career. He's good for 7 sacks a year on average. We move to the linebacker course, where they may have the best trio in all teams running 4-3s. They're young, they're talented, they're athletic, they like to hit. We're going to start with Akeem Ayers, where he made 100 tackles last year and 6 sacks. Very productive, very you can put him in a lot of different positions and see him succeed. Very good pick out of UCLA. In the middle, it's Colin McCarthy. He was hurt last year, but the former Miami Hurricane can be very good, very productive, get sideline to sideline, make plays. And then they have Zach Brown. He's had a strong rookie season where he had over 90 tackles and 5.5 sacks. Again, a guy who can get to the passer when needed to, a guy who can stuff the run a bit. We move to the secondary with Jason McCourty, the twin brother of Patriots safety Devin McCourty, is probably the better tackler of the two. He's a very strong corner in the run game, but the real question is, how good is he against the pass? He's their number one corner, but you really don't like him being your number one corner. It was much better when they had Cortland Finnegan being their number one corner and making him the number 2 corner. Now they have Antoine Vermer playing the second corner, and he's good against the run too, but he really should not be a starting corner in the NFL. Teams are going to attack him, and that's a weakness for the Titans. At strong safety, the Titans went out and made 2 signings of team players cut by their former team. We start with Bernard Pollard, the former Ravens strong safety. Is a great run stuffer, doesn't offer a whole lot in pass coverage. They also signed former Bills safety George Wilson. So they have nice depth at that position, assuming that both those players have something left to offer, which now in their early 30s will be a question moving forward. Moving to free safety, Michael Griffin has been one of the best free safeties in the league. He's not maybe an elite guy, but he's a guy that you are very happy to have on your team. You don't have to worry about him making many mistakes. You know what you're going to get. He's a good player. He's been very good ever since he came out of Texas. And then we go to the special teams, where kicker Rob Baronis has been one of the very best kickers since he won the job for Tennessee. He's consistent. Seems like he's always got energy in that leg to go out there and attempt the long field goals, attempt 6 field goals in a game. It's something you don't have to worry about. Overall, I think this is a 500 team. I think they're 8-8, 3rd place in the division. Let's hear what you guys think. Comment below, like it, dislike the video, share it. Let's see what you all think. Let's look forward to talking to you all in our next season preview.